Sunday morning, and I'm in my trailer, obviously. You can see in the background. Still at Camp Verde, Zane RV Park, where Kismet and I walk every morning around the creek. I think we've only missed 2 mornings since we've been here, and those were rainy days. And yeah, I'm not going to do it in the rain. Sorry. I've had another horseback riding lesson. And up here, I'm away from Mesa and Phoenix now by at least an hour and a half or more. But the learning how to ride the horse and be able to bond with it and be able to have a relationship with it before we go on this cattle drive is pretty important. This time I got on there, and I'm learning about the reins. Okay, so the reins are very important. But the thing I learned about holding on to the reins is that I was holding on too tightly. And it confuses the horse because the horse, it's a dance, and he feels your energy. And if I'm holding on to the reins too tightly, the horse thinks, what's wrong? What do I need to be afraid of? And I realized that it wasn't psychological or emotional what I'm hanging on to. It's the muscle memory from water skiing. It's like I learned to water ski, and you hang on to the rope for dear life because that boat is going to pull you up out of the water, and meanwhile the boat's just pulling you. You don't hold on to it loosely. So I had to consider like shifting a car, and you use your pinky to guide this big, huge beast. It's an amazing, interesting experience for me. If you ride horses, you're like, duh. But if you don't ride horses, it's a whole new experience. And it's been fun. And so I'm driving back down there again on Monday to do a trail ride. Now, of course, all these things that I have to do, I have to consider little Kismet. What's going to happen to Kismet? I don't like leaving him in the crate too long. But those are some of the considerations. Now, success, it's been a week and a half since he's had an accident inside the trailer, so I'm very excited about that. I'm hoping that when I'm staying in Santa Barbara for 2 weeks at Christmas time, I'll be able to put my rugs out. But because the floor is cold, and I had gotten these pretty decorative rugs and then brought the puppy home and immediately put the rugs away, realizing that I'm not going to be cleaning up pee and poop on rugs, at least on the vinyl floor or the wood floor or whatever of the trailer. It's easy to clean up. Anyway, these little simple things. Okay, so this morning I got up early. I get up early every day. Now it's more like 3-4 o'clock, which is nuts. And I have a couple troubleshooting things to do. I have to drain the black tank because the toilet got clogged, and I couldn't understand. Okay, these little things that you got to do, and I knew that I had to turn off the water in order to do that. But I'm going to do it in the dark, or I'm going to wait till it's dawn. But then I'm drinking coffee. I got to go to the bathroom, so I'm going up to the camp bathroom to use it. And while I'm up there, I'm like, I should get my laundry started since I have laundry to do. So here it is before dawn. And I'm starting my laundry, and I'm outside working on my trailer and taking care of little details. And I realized that before 8:30 this morning, I had done my laundry, taken the dog for a walk, fed the dog, done a little troubleshooting on the trailer, rearranged some of my storage. 'Cause as you start to get settled and acclimated, you realize things that you don't really need, and you can shift and move things around. And I've got this big old dog crate in my bedroom, which the bedroom is not too bad for a trailer, but with the big dog crate there, there's a lot of maneuvering I got to be doing. So it's been an interesting experience. Meanwhile, on my downtime, when I'm not seeing clients and I'm not having horseback riding lessons and I'm not hiking with the dog, I'm reading my journals. I am now getting close to 2001. I'm in like the holidays of 2000. And this is when I had I think it was my first encounter with spirit, honestly, or at least one that I acknowledged and wrote about. And it was an entirely spiritual journey with a lot of healing lessons and relief from a lot of pent-up anger about things that had occurred in my life previously. I think I'm 37, so I'm still pretty young, and I'm raising my kids, and I'm up in Roseville. I say I've been up there for 2 years, and I've gone through 4 jobs. Okay, so the radio thing, I didn't like it. I was like, I probably should have gone for the going on the air route instead of the sales route. I probably would have still loved it. But I didn't really like radio sales. I didn't like selling advertising. But I was doing a good job. My journals demonstrate that I was really working hard, and I was having some great successes, but I still didn't like the sleaziness of it. I didn't like the corporate politics. And this was my first foray into broadcasting outside of the family business. And I was a fish out of water. I thought like an owner and a manager, but I was a lowly AE. And I didn't have the spark to battle with the corporate politics to work my way up the ladder. I didn't care. I wanted to be self-employed. I wanted to be working independently. I tried this internet company for a while, but it failed. I had a lot of successes with that, and I was loving it. I was actually very disappointed that the company folded before they even really officially launched. But I was meeting interesting people, and the concept was awesome, and I was loving it. But it failed. So here I am in Roseville. What am I going to do now? But also, the business with Orchard Media Services, the FCC compliance business, had launched, and Dad had business with building public files. So he was keeping me busy working on public files. So I'm still working the Gazoom internet company and building public files and going and visiting radio stations or California Broadcasters Association. Dad and I are going to the National Association of Broadcasters convention. And why is this important? Why do I bring it up? It's just the trajectory of my life, because as all of this is going on, I'm also considering that I'm a little bit homesick for people who do know me. I went out to Roseville and Sacramento, happy to leave Victorville behind, going somewhere where nobody would know my story. Nobody would know about the radio station bankruptcy. Nobody would know about my troubles with my ex-husband and my divorce. And nobody knew about the tragic death of my brother unless I told them. All they knew was that I was a single mom up there working in radio. And I liked it for a while, but then I started missing my friends. Then I started missing having family around to help with my kids who were, as they got older, they were having more and more interests and more things to do. And I was running myself ragged. I couldn't keep up. And I was lonely. So these are all lessons. This is what I've been reliving. I was like, oh God, I don't want to do this. But I'm also finding some really great settings and stories and character development. And then I had my spiritual experience, which was very healing and enlightening, understanding and coming to terms with, wow, I just had, we want to call it psychic, but mystical moment. Mystical, and it was over a period of like several days, but the residue of it remains. So I'm still reading about some, I'm extracting some. And all I'm really doing, I'm not crying over it though. This isn't emotional for me. It's revelatory. I'm having revelations, revelatory, yeah. I'm having revelations. I'm getting really great dialogue and ideas, and I'm laughing at some of my silliness, because this is the time period where I know I've already written about this. When I had my heart failure, which is, this is coming a few years later, I realized I was in survival mode. And so this is where I was at. I was literally just in survival mode and really did want a partner that was going to help me raise my kids, or a partner for me. But yet on the other hand, I liked my freedom and I had nobody to answer to. And so I was conflicted. And so I wanted that romance, but I didn't necessarily want somebody in my life. So this was like the beginning of me starting to close off to the idea of ever having a relationship. I just was going to just bury myself in my kids and my work, which is what I did until my heart failure. And then things started to shift. I'm still not sure yet, as I'm reviewing this, did I fall back into my old patterns of working and burying my life with my kids and my grandkids now after my next brother died, which was now at this point that I'm doing this 8 years ago. This is to review your life like this. I was actually sharing some of it with my own therapist the other day, and she says this is like PhD level family systems, because it's like who has this kind of documentation of their past and can look at it from the therapy lens, from a lens of a therapist, but also the lens of a woman who has gained some wisdom over the years. But I'm right there in the room with my younger self. It is very interesting, and I'm really loving the process, but I am very motivated to get through it. I don't want this to be taking me longer and longer. Do I want to be reading this during the holidays as they approach? Not necessarily. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do, but I really want to get these journals purged and even burned. I'll take some pictures of of how many I'm going to be burning when I get back to Usery Mountain Regional Park in Mesa, where I have a fire ring. But some of the lessons that I have learned, I just keep relearning that We repeat cycles if we aren't paying attention. And once you realize you're in that cycle that you're repeating again, you do have the ability to choose to stop. And I'm wondering if this is what's been happening with me, because there was a period of time where I was moving out of my house, and I even wrote about that I was purging everything that I owned, and I was doing this move alone, and I must be meant to do it by myself. And I realized, wow, I just literally just went through that again. And then, of course, this is where the red car phenomenon starts to become revealed to me. There was something about red cars, and more details on that, but that's going to probably be the first fictional book of short stories that I write, called Red Car Dreams, because I started dreaming about red cars, and then all of a sudden it started to be revealed to me that red cars are pretty pinnacle in our family line. More on that later, but this is the beginning of that creative burst. And that's why I'm so excited about this journal project, is because even though I'm reviewing all these life memories that maybe aren't all that great, but I know I got through them, and there were a lot of happy times in there, but I also have a lot of my own thoughts, notes, story ideas, all intertwined with this stuff. And even in this particular period that I'm at, this is when I start to acknowledge that my journals are where all my stories are, and one day I will write them. And then not too long ago, in the journal that I'm working on, actually in one of the first videos that I did, time is now. And that's why I'm very motivated to get through all of this, because once I wrap it up, I won't have all those journals in my closet, for one thing. I'll have more room. And I'll be able to have said goodbye to these memories and make room for new ones, which is the point. But also I'll have all the notes and all of the details to write these stories, and I don't know yet what more stuff I'm going to discover. I know that I've been capturing characters and story ideas and stuff about radio and romantic encounters and things like that. I'm not really writing much about raising my kids, because I don't really necessarily think I'll be writing much about raising kids as a single mom. I don't want to do self-help books, and I'll just tell you, it's hard. It's hard. It really is. But you will get through it, and you'll manage, because what other choice do you have when you're raising kids? But I loved my kids. Everything in my journals, there's a reinforced message. Number one, I'm dedicated to raising my kids to give them the best life I possibly can. And number two, I have faith that God will get me through whatever it is I'm going through. That is a continuing message. That is something that has been consistent throughout my whole journal experience. Not before I had kids, obviously, but once I had children, that was it for me. Now my kids are grown, and they have kids of their own, and they have lives of their own, and they're happy and they're healthy. And that is the pattern that I was repeating, was that I was dedicated to sticking around, to be near my kids, and to be available for my grandchildren, to the point where I wasn't even living any kind of life of my own, except for waiting until whatever the next family function was going to happen, or the next cranberry sleepover. And as I'm taking care of my parents, I knew that there must be more to life than this, that there is more to life than this. And I knew that I was supposed to be writing, but I also knew that I wasn't emotionally going to be able to do it, watching my parents age, feeling the emotions that I was feeling, being triggered by the memories that I was being triggered by, and a ton of them. It just was like emotional waterboarding just coming at me. And I've been gone. It's only been 6 weeks, maybe 7. It's not even 2 months yet. And I already feel so much more at peace. Yeah, I miss my family. Of course I miss my family. But I have the dog, and he keeps me company, keeps me distracted from these thoughts of being sad. I'm not sad, though. I'm just taking some time for me. So that is my update for today. I have another horseback riding lesson, and then I have the Longhorn cattle drive all before Thanksgiving. And I'm super excited. It's a new experience for me, and it's a very cool one. My friend Lene and her friend Frankie, like I said, she's my friend too. I don't know why I keep doing that. they would really love for me to move to Arizona. But of course, my practice, and my mom and dad are in California. My other daughter and my grandkids are in California. My license is in California. My practice is in California. And that's my home base. I'm not really ready to give all that up yet. But you know what? I'm flexible. I don't know what's going to happen to me. I really don't know where God is leading me, where this path is going. I just know that each and every day I am shown something, that I'm here for a reason. Even here at this RV park, every day when the dog and I go out and walk around the creek, I'm just very grateful. That's how I start my day. So I don't know what to expect. But I have a good attitude, see? So here I am, early in the morning, makeup. I've gotten used to doing this without makeup because I don't wear makeup. What's the point? And so you can just see the real me as I'm evolving and developing ideas. Red Card Dreams, I think, will be the first one. I love my Radio and Records Cafe story, but that is also developing because that is a more current idea. Red Card Dreams is, I think I can pull a lot of what I've already got for that. But I want to try writers' workshops and conferences, and I want to do all these things, but I want to be done with this project first. And that's why I'm happy to have these down days where Lene and I aren't doing a lot of touristy stuff, or there isn't a drive back down to Phoenix where I just can sit in my trailer and play with the dog and read my journals and be ready to get rid of them. I think I'm on number 16. And like I said before, the one that I'm currently writing is number 44. And I am not being redundant. I am keeping what I learned here into these videos, but I am just doing like daily stuff with the other one. It's an interesting process. I'm trying not to, I feel like I'm on this hamster wheel because I'm reading the past and I'm living in the present, and I'm not really considering the future. I have no idea, which is good because that relieves the anxiety. The only thing I consider of my future is where I'm going to stay next and where I'm headed. Anyway, so this is my journey. And so far, it's been exactly what I set out for it to do, and then some. I've learned a lot about RV life and still love it, and will love it for a long time. Love having the puppy. Glad that I got him when I did. He's adorable, now that he's not messing in the trailer. And love my independence. But yes, I do miss my family. I do miss my friends. But I will be coming back. It's not like I'm gone forever. That's not the point of this. The point of this is not to leave and be gone forever, but it is to be able to, when I want to pick up and go, I just take my home with me. That's how I feel. I just pack up my house and go. I love it. Okay, that's it. Over and out.